Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie De Palma. Yes, De Palma is a documentary directed by Noah Baumbach himself. Yes, Noah Baumbach is actually a filmmaker himself. He's a director who's directed movies like While We're Young, Frances Ha, and Greenberg, and now he's directing this movie about another director named Brian De Palma. Brian De Palma, amazing, one of the best directors out there, and definitely one of the most controversial directors in all of the 1970s, 60s, and even the 80s and stuff. And if you don't know who Brian De Palma is, Brian De Palma directed movies like Carrie, Greetings, Scarface, Carlito's Way, The First Mission Impossible, Raising Cain, what is that other movie? A Blowout, John Travolta. That's like my favorite De Palma movie. He did a lot of great movies, a lot of psychological thrillers, very sexy thrillers too. He was very controversial with his filmmaking style, and this entire documentary is like a conversation. This entire documentary is just mostly De Palma looking at the camera and basically talking to Noah Baumbach. You don't really hear Noah Baumbach very much, but it's Brian De Palma sitting here like how I am now and basically talking about each and every one of his films, and they show clips of all his films and stuff and pictures of all the filmmakers that he's good friends with, like Steven Spielberg, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, Martin Scorsese. He was really close with all those filmmakers, and you can really tell they had a lot of inspiration towards him, and his biggest inspiration was Alfred Hitchcock himself, and all his films are very Hitchcockian. And Brian De Palma even says in the documentary that he's one of the very few filmmakers that actually was really inspired by Hitchcock. All his movies were all very Hitchcockian. He says, a few filmmakers go Hitchcockian, but almost every De Palma film is very Hitchcockian, except for Mission to Mars and Mission Impossible, obviously, but I loved that he played a lot of homages to Hitchcock in a lot of his films and stuff, and you could tell Alfred Hitchcock meant the world to him. Like, he thought Alfred Hitchcock was like a god of filmmaking, and he sort of is, because he's amazing. He's one of the greatest filmmakers out there and stuff, and yeah. Yeah, it was just so interesting seeing Brian De Palma just talk about filmmaking and his opinions of filmmaking and how filmmaking is an art form and how he made filmmaking his own art form and stuff, and how he did his shots with his cinematography, how he directed his actors, how he wrote his scripts and stuff, and how he even played small parts in his movies and stuff. And I loved how he started in filmmaking, and I love his opinions of filmmaking now and stuff. He thinks films are too boring because there's so much CGI and stuff. He loves practicality. That's how you do proper action, proper tension, proper cinematography and stuff. And hearing his opinions about filmmaking and stuff was just fascinating. The thing that I loved about this documentary is the fact that you feel like you're talking with Brian De Palma. You feel like Brian De Palma is sitting right there in front of you, just talking to you about his movies. And he talks about every single one of his movies and whether he liked it and what he did with it, how he made it, how he got along with certain people and how he didn't get along with certain people and stuff. And it was interesting. This documentary was just interesting. It's a little, rough because Brian De Palma is a pretty rough guy. He swears and curses a lot. And he put a lot of sex in his movies, and he does talk about that a little bit. He talks about his marriages too and stuff. And it's just part of life and stuff, and I just think this documentary was brilliantly executed, and I thought Noah Baumbach did an amazing job, and I thought Brian De Palma was just such an interesting guy. I've always been a fan of Brian De Palma, and I really loved this documentary. It's definitely one of my favorite documentaries of the year. I've seen a few documentaries this year. I haven't reviewed them, but I saw a few of them, like Under the Gun and Tickled and stuff, and they're good documentaries too, but De Palma is right up there. It should get a Best Documentary nomination when it comes to the Oscars. And another documentary that I saw, and I'll be reviewing soon, just after this video, it's another documentary that I think deserves Best Documentary at the Oscars and stuff. But De Palma was fantastic. I loved hearing Brian De Palma, his opinions about filmmaking. I loved hearing all about his movies and how he came up with the idea of all these movies and what was the process of making these movies. And this documentary was just fascinating. If you ever want to watch a documentary about a great filmmaker like Brian De Palma, and you just want to feel like you're just conversing with a great director like De Palma and stuff, then this documentary documentary is definitely for you. I would highly recommend it. I really enjoyed this documentary. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give the movie De Palma a 9 out of 10. This movie's so good. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, that was my review for the movie De Palma. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what is your favorite Brian De Palma movie? Favorite Brian De Palma movie? Carrie is right there, but Blowout is my favorite. But what is your favorite? Comment below, let me know. And as always, like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.